Okay, so the other day, when I went to go visit Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth home, I started to roam the area a little bit, and I never realized that that whole area is actually considered Martin Luther King Jr. National Historical Park. And then right next door, the house directly next door, is a park store. And I went inside the store and I got to talk to the two ladies that worked inside the store and also somebody who worked at the national park. So as I was walking next door, that's when I got to meet the guy that's right here on the bike. I think he said his name was Mark Henderson and he was from New Jersey. And he shared a poem with me and it's actually pretty dope. Thought you guys would like it. Check it out.
I'm a poet, brother. I got a poem on Dr. King if you want to hear it today. Give you some information.
You say you have a poem?
Yeah, you can certainly video this. I'm from New Jersey. I'm 62 and I've been biking across the West.
Okay.
This piece is titled Nick Gods, and my brother, you can chime in on it as well if you like to hear. And yeah, this is my ministry, brother. I live off of donations, you know.
All right.
If you'd like to make a donation at the end of the poem, I would honor that.
I can. Oh, yeah, I can.
All right, and it goes like this. I wrote it because my cousin told me he thought being a man had something to do with being cool. Beloved young man, if life for us as African American men was simply about just walking around and being cool as you stated at 10, well, you must understand at my age of 62, one of the coolest things we would do is insert a phrase like "Gods," as in G-O-D, God, in our music, our communications, and our language to each other, beloved, because people of color have truly been through it on this planet. And if you're walking and breathing, man, you've already survived hits and bruises and what we consider to be tidal waves of time. That's because we're walking this world protected, beloved. I believe we're all truly divine. The challenge might be a lot of the boys in the generation. The kids may not be there yet in their hearts, man, nor in their minds. And I pray that they'll get there in time because you see, there was this man, this brother, this black man who died, took a bullet to his body, and he was assassinated. Once resigning behind us, buried down the street. But yo, the man did not die in vain. The man died because he wanted us to live in a world that was sane, and they got it right. So we stand in solidarity, me and my brother here, and we celebrate the life, legacy, history, the blood, and the sacrifice of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. of Atlanta, Georgia. That's a name you must remember, research, and embrace because King made this world listen. And because of Dr. King, we bear a gift. It is our bond. We all now have our humane, dignified, law-abiding, constitutional, civil rights. For the record, young man, that is what cool looks like. So your lesson is simple. Always remember this, that when you change the way you see things, the way you see things will change. Thank you. God.
That was dope.
Thank you, brother. Blessings.
So then I go inside the store and I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool. Because it was actually my first time going inside this bookstore. When I walked inside, there were three ladies inside. One of them actually works at the national park. I think she said her name was Selena. And then the two ladies that worked in the store, one name was Stephanie, and I think the other lady name was Rosemary. Hopefully I didn't mess her name up. But but yeah, they were all nice, man. We had like a real good conversation too. And I was telling them that I went next door to MLK's house. And I was asking them about it. I said, how often do they do tours and stuff like that? And it was like, well, they're currently doing a renovation to the house. So they're not going to do any like open like tours for like tourists anytime soon or whatever. She said it's probably going to be a couple years before they do any tours of that house since they're still doing the renovations. So that's the update on that.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, okay. I've never this is my first time coming inside the bookstore. I wasn't aware.
Get you do everything you need to do.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Maryland.
Okay. Well,
But
thank you.
I've been here for a while though. I actually moved here in 2017, like summer of 2017.
All right.
So-
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Well, good for you. But you can walk around, take pictures in here, all you want.
Thank you. But yeah, when we was in the store talking, man, we had a good old conversation. And I asked him, and one of the questions I asked him, I was like, why do you guys think that MLK Boulevard is always in a rough neighborhood? And it doesn't matter where it is in America. It's always in a rough ass neighborhood. Like, why is that? You were wondering, because you say you're a teacher, right? Why do they put MLK in every bad neighborhood? Though it's always in like a rough section.
Oh, well, that part I do.
Oh,
I do
you're talking about the street.
Yeah, the streets. They always put the streets in the bad neighborhoods, though.
But now we probably call it the hood.
Yeah, but it wasn't like that back then, though. You mean like it was like the 50s and the 60s and yeah. Another thing that we talked about, you remember like back in like the 50s and 60s, I don't think that black people were dependent on law enforcement. We couldn't depend on law enforcement to protect us. So I think in our communities, we were pretty much policing ourselves. We were policing our own communities and doing what we had to do to protect ourselves.
No, they don't even call it now the hood over here. Like Perry Home. Back then was that, but they don't just redid that and everything. But that was a bad part. Even the police wouldn't come up in there.
That was, what year was that? It was in the 60s?
It It was a certain part of Perry home. Yeah, it was in the 60s.
You had to go down to the Ponderosa for that.
Oh yes, you could not. If you call the police, you better come out up in here and this and that. But
it was like my mom grew up in Perry home, so she was like, when they were there, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
It was when other people they start having kids. It's that generation once removed.
But even back then, I mean, we couldn't. I don't think that black people we weren't dependent on law enforcement to protect us. We had to police. We had to police our own. We had to police our own neighborhoods.
And that's what people do.
Mm-hmm. Another thing we talked about how like people in general, most people in general nowadays, they seem like they're afraid to take an ass whooping, so they're quick to pull out a weapon to defend themselves. Like, there's no such thing as a fair one anymore.
And even back when we was growing up and stuff, we got into it with our friends or something other like that. It wasn't no like they do now with these guns and stuff like that. Either you whoop my butt, I whoop yours.
Right.
That's it.
Your hands.
Whoop, just go home.
And if you came with someone else to jump in,
exactly.
Somebody else to jump in.
That's right.
Exactly. That's kind of how it was when I was growing up too.
Pull out a gun for everything.
It is.
My mom would tell, don't come in this old house crying instead of telling somebody hit you, better hit them back.
Right.
So I used to tell them kids, I'm not gonna get no two butt whoopings. Either I'm gonna whoop your butt on this hill, or you whoop mine. But you ain't gonna whoop my butt up here, and I go to the bottom of that hill crying, and my mama whoop my butt again. Oh no.
And that's how it was when I was a kid too. She was like, my friend mom was like that. She was just like, well, if you don't fight, you don't stand up for yourself. You don't fight him, you gonna fight me when you come home.
Sure did.
Mm-hmm.
No. And if you hear something in the neighborhood, the neighbor can whoop your butt and send you home, and you get another butt whooping.
Yep,
Oh, no.
exactly.
I ain't never believed in no whole lot of butt whooping. So I said, no, I ain't gonna get but one.
Exactly.
So I didn't do things to get in trouble. You getting a butt whooping.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I remember that. Girls and boys used to just fight. If you was a girl, you had to grow up to be a tomboy. You had to learn how to take care of yourself, like you said. Your mom said you better protect yourself.
You ever take yourself.
Nobody. Somebody hit you or mess with you, you better.
Mm-hmm.
These kids want to pull out a gun and shoot you. Ooh, little bitty baby, still with guns.
And when she said that, the first thing that popped in my head was that kitchen scene from Friday. Remember the movie Friday when Pops was talking to Craig? He found a strap on him, and he was like, "What do you need a gun for?" He said, "You guys are sissified." Back in my day when I was growing up, all you needed was these hands right here. That's all you needed. He said, "You win some, you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another day." Best quote. That's a really good quote.
We didn't have that growing up. My mama could have told you that. Born in the 50s, I made that.
But yeah, that was a cool experience. I enjoyed the conversation. I'm sure I'll stop by the store again soon.